When you stop seeking approval and start validating yourself, everything shifts. You'll feel it in how you carry yourself, in the decisions you make, and in how you show up every day. Remember, your intentions and hard work are enough. You don't need anyone else's stamp of approval to know you're on the right track. If you're acting with good intentions and putting in the effort, that's all that matters. Trust what you're doing is enough and believe in your own capabilities. This is the mindset that creates unshakable confidence, built on your own terms, not on someone else's opinion. How can you expect to feel confident if you don't really know who you are, or if you haven't built the skills necessary to make you feel capable? Maybe you're spending time scrolling through social media, comparing your life to everyone else's, or staying in your comfort zone, avoiding anything that feels even slightly challenging. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. It's so easy to get caught in these habits, but the truth is they don't bring confidence. They only keep you stuck. I remember a time when I wasn't confident at all. I'd stay in my comfort zone, keeping myself and avoiding anything that pushed me to the next level. But I got tired of it and knew that the reason I was unsettled in life was because I wasn't growing. I was letting fear hold me back from becoming the person I knew I could be. I knew I deserved more, but was unclear where to start or when would even be the perfect time for me. But over time, I realized that confidence isn't about waiting until you feel ready or comfortable. It's about taking action, even when it feels tough. So I started small. I tried new things and built routines, and little by little, I felt a shift. That's the power of getting uncomfortable and developing skills. It builds confidence. I'll walk you through some practical steps to help you build that confidence for yourself. And trust me, if you stick with these consistently, you'll notice a real transformation. Plus, you'll want to stick around because later I'm going to share some tips on breaking free from perfectionism, something that made a huge difference in my own journey. To build confidence, you first need to develop skills. Think about it like this. Confidence comes from knowing you're capable, from having proof that you can do something well. It's like when you watch professional athletes. They show up every day. They train, they get better, and they get better. They have confidence because they know they've put in the work. Now, you don't have to become a professional athlete, but the same principle applies to any skill you want to develop. Whether it's learning a new language, getting better at cooking, or working on a new hobby, building skills is like stacking bricks. You're simply building your confidence foundation, one brick at a time. Discipline is where confidence really starts to take root. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. And I know it's easy to say, I'll wait until I'm motivated. Isn't that what we all say? But that feeling isn't always there when you need it, believe it or not. Confidence isn't built on motivation, it's built on consistency. Start small, maybe going to the gym twice a week or setting aside time for reading. Whatever it is, commit to it. And over time, you'll notice that as you build discipline, you also start to trust yourself more. And that's where confidence really grows. Here's the thing. Confidence doesn't come from staying comfortable. It comes from challenging yourself and doing things that feel uncomfortable until they become second nature. Before you know it, these good habits become a part of your lifestyle when once upon a time they were challenging to start up. If you've never done something before, it's going to feel strange and maybe even scary, but that's okay. Start small and push yourself just a little beyond what feels safe. If going to the gym is intimidating, start with a short 15-minute session twice a week and build from there. Each time you show up and push yourself, you're sending a message to your brain, I can handle this. And over time, your comfort zone expands and you find yourself doing things you once thought were impossible. So if you're ready to start building discipline and challenging yourself a bit more every day, let's keep it pushing. Next up, we're diving into why stepping out of your comfort zone is such a game changer for your confidence and how it can transform the way you see yourself. Let's dive into what it means to step outside of your comfort zone. I know, just the idea of doing things that make you uncomfortable can feel overwhelming. But here's the truth. If you want to grow, you have to get comfortable with discomfort. That sounds really crazy. Whether it's trying a new activity, speaking in front of others, or even just meeting new people, every time you do something that feels a bit scary, you're expanding what you believe you're capable of. The more you expose yourself to new challenges, the more your confidence grows. Think of it as training your confidence muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it, right? Now, this is a big one. Letting go of perfectionism. You probably struggle with it. I know I struggle with it too, especially when it comes to creating content. So many of us get stuck thinking that we have to be perfect at something before we even start, which is just nuts. But perfectionism is really just fear dressed up in a fancy outfit. It holds you back from trying, from failing, and ultimately from growing. Instead of aiming for perfection, focus on progress. Be willing to be a beginner and make mistakes. Each time you do something imperfectly, you're learning and building resilience, and that's where true confidence comes from. Another way to step outside of your comfort zone is to meet new people. I know that for some of us, the idea of putting ourselves out there feels intimidating, but it's such a powerful way to grow. And when you network and connect with others, especially those who have similar interests or goals, you open yourself up to new opportunities and experiences. This doesn't mean you have to dive into big networking events, but just start small. Sign up for a class, join a local group, or simply strike up a conversation with someone new. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become, and your confidence will begin to naturally grow. Now that we've talked about stepping outside of your comfort zone, it's time to dive into a big confidence killer, which I mentioned earlier, perfectionism, and how to overcome it. I'll show you why perfectionism is holding you back and how to focus on what really matters. Perfectionism can really get in the way of building confidence. It's that voice in your head saying, it's not good enough, so why bother? But let me tell you, perfectionism isn't about wanting to be your best. It's actually rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of what others might think, and ultimately that fear keeps you from taking action. The truth is, nothing and no one is ever perfect, nor will ever be perfect. And chasing perfection will only lead to frustration. Trust me. Instead, focus on making progress. Even small steps forward are better than staying stuck. And one way to step away from perfectionism is by shifting your focus to the value you're bringing to others. Whether it's something you're creating, a service you're offering, or simply helping someone out, focus on giving the best you can in that moment. When you think about how you're contributing, it takes the pressure off of yourself and eases the fear of not being perfect. Ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this meaningful? If the answer is yes, then it's enough at that moment. Confidence grows when you focus on the impact you're making instead of obsessing over every detail. Another big part of overcoming perfectionism is making self-care a priority. Taking care of yourself, whether through exercise, eating well, or building routines that make you feel good, is a way of telling yourself that you matter. If you know anything about me, I'm a huge advocate of self-care and believe it's essential for your overall well-being. When you make yourself a priority, you start to build self-respect, and that's a huge piece of building confidence. It reflects in how you carry yourself, how you speak, and how you interact with others. Speaking of self-care, I'll show you why taking care of yourself, from physical health to your mindset, is so important for building the kind of confidence you're after. A lot of people think of self-care as a luxury or something optional, but it's actually essential for building confidence. When you take time to care for yourself, whether that's making sure you're eating well, getting enough sleep, or having routines that make you feel good, you're showing yourself respect. If you don't take care of your own needs, it sends a message to yourself that you don't matter. But when you make yourself a priority, you're reinforcing your self-worth, and that's a key ingredient for confidence. Self-care has become a top priority for me as a mom of 2 young girls. Before I became a mom, I never thought much about it. I had the freedom to do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, so it was easy to take self-care for granted. But now, with 2 little ones depending on me, I've realized that I need to prioritize my well-being, not just for myself, but to be a better example for my daughters. It's about getting myself in order so I can show up as the best version of me for them and for the rest of my family. Physical activity is such a key part of self-care, and it's more than just feeling good physically. Movement builds a stronger, more confident version of yourself, and one simple but powerful way to do that is by working on your posture. Standing tall, shoulders back, and walking with intention not only makes you look confident, but also shifts how you feel about yourself. Even a small adjustment like correcting your posture can have a big impact on your confidence. And when you do things like this, it shows the world you respect yourself, and the world has no choice but to respect you too. One of my favorite confidence boosting strategies is visualizing the best version of myself and starting to embody that person today. So ask yourself, what would be the best version of me? And what would they be doing right now? If you're deciding whether to work out or stay home, think about what your future self, the one who's confident and thriving, would choose. Every time you take an action that aligns with that version of yourself, you're getting one step closer to becoming that person. Generally speaking, it seems as if people want to wait for a better situation before they take action, but taking action is what usually results in a better situation. So when I say it's all about building those habits that make your best self your reality, that's what I mean. It's not about waiting for the right conditions. It's about taking ownership and creating those conditions for yourself. Every positive habit you establish, every uncomfortable step you take towards your goals sets the foundation for that future version of yourself. The key is to stop waiting and start building. By taking action now, no matter how small, you're actively crafting the circumstances that lead to the life you've been dreaming of. Now that we've covered how important self-care is for building confidence, let's take it a step further and talk about your environment, the people around you, and the kind of energy you let in. It matters more than you think. Social media can seriously mess with your confidence if you're not careful. Those perfectly curated images and highlight reels can make you feel like you're falling short. But remember, what you see online is rarely the whole story. If scrolling through your feed leaves you feeling less than, it is time for you to set some boundaries. For example, maybe limit how often you check it, or make it a point to follow accounts that genuinely inspire you, instead of ones that make you feel like you're not measuring up. Protecting your mental well-being is a form of self-respect, and it's key to building real confidence. It's easy to fall into the comparison trap, especially when you're constantly seeing snapshots of other people's perfect lives. But here's the thing, your journey is unique. True confidence comes from focusing on your own growth and progress, not by comparing yourself to others. Instead of thinking, why don't I have what they have? Try shifting it to, what can I do today that brings me closer to my own goals? When you focus on what you can control and what makes you happy, you feel more empowered and less affected by outside pressures. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. It's easy to be your own worst critic, but confidence doesn't grow from tearing yourself down. It comes from self-compassion. So celebrate your small wins and acknowledge the effort you're putting in. Besides, when you give advice to a close friend, you wouldn't tear them down, would you? So why not speak to yourself with that same level of compassion and respect? And by the way, positive self-talk isn't you ignoring reality. It's about you building yourself up so you have the strength to keep going. Believe me when I say, being your own cheerleader really does make a difference in your day-to-day. I really have to talk about this because this is something that is just so deep in my heart that I see with other people. And I even see it in myself too. So this is more of a, I'm kind of witnessing to myself at the same time. I have to urge you to please stop looking for validation from others, whether it's from friends, family, or even strangers on social media. We crave that approval to feel good about ourselves, but here's something you may not know. If you rely on others to validate you, you're actually giving away your power. True confidence comes from understanding your worth and being comfortable in your own skin, no matter what anybody else says or no matter what anyone else thinks. When you stop seeking approval and start validating yourself, everything shifts. You'll feel it in how you carry yourself, in the decisions you make, and in how you show up every day. Remember, your intentions and hard work are enough. You don't need anyone else's stamp of approval to know you're on the right track. If you're acting with good intentions and putting in the effort, that's all that matters. Trust what you're doing is enough and believe in your own capabilities. This is the mindset that creates unshakable confidence, built on your own terms, not on someone else's opinion. When you own your own actions, you take full responsibility for your journey. It means celebrating every win, even the small ones. Each step you take, no matter how minor, is proof that you're moving forward. Acknowledge those achievements because they're evidence that you're growing and that you're becoming successful. Build your confidence from the inside out by recognizing your strength and validating your progress every step of the way. Listening is such a powerful tool, not just for learning, but for building confidence as well. When you genuinely listen to someone, you're giving them your respect and showing them that their perspective matters. And in return, you're gaining knowledge and insights that might not have crossed your mind before. So the more you learn from others, the more your understanding expands, and that naturally boosts your confidence. Think of it like approaching every conversation with the mindset that there's something valuable to take away. And you would be amazed at how much you can grow just by staying open to different points of views. Besides, everyone has their own unique story, quirks, and ways of seeing the world. Instead of judging or dismissing people for their differences, try embracing them. And when you accept others as they are, you'll find yourself feeling more at ease with who you are too. Plus, those differences can create a bond, and I think that's pretty special. Confidence truly grows when you realize that it's okay to be different and that our uniqueness is what makes us valuable. When you put yourself out there to meet new people, whether it's through a class or an event or just starting a simple conversation, you get to experience this diversity firsthand, and it helps you build confidence in social situations. While we're focusing on building confidence in social situations, it's equally important to grow your knowledge and skills. And confidence plays just as important a position here too. Admitting you don't have all the answers and staying curious opens the door for more growth. And the more you learn, the more confident you'll become in navigating all areas of life. Every person you meet and every experience you have is an opportunity to learn and grow a little more each day. Next, we'll bring all these ideas together and I'll show you how to use these tools to truly take charge of your life. Keep watching because I have some final words of encouragement to help you fully embrace this journey towards confidence. We have unpacked a lot in this video. Everything from building new skills and stepping outside of your comfort zone to letting go of perfectionism, taking care of yourself, avoiding negative influences, and owning your actions. These steps are all important parts of building your confidence. But remember, confidence is a journey, right? It's not something you achieve in a single day. It's something you build gradually through consistent, small efforts. Every time you take that step to grow, you're getting closer to the confident version of yourself that you deserve to be. So if you're ready, please don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Take one small action today, whether it's writing down a goal, trying something that pushes you out of your comfort zone, or even just spending a few moments practicing self-care. It doesn't have to be a huge leap. The small, consistent actions are what really add up over time. Every time you show up for yourself, you're building momentum. And over time, you'll see that confidence isn't something you need to search for. It's something you create and nurture within yourself. I'd love for you to commit to this journey for the next 30 days. Use this time to incorporate these practices into your life and notice the shifts that start happening. You don't need to change everything all at once either. Just take it one step at a time. Maybe this week you focus on setting goals, and next week you challenge yourself to step into something new. Progress is still progress, no matter how small. And if you're up for it, share your wins, no matter how tiny they may seem, in the comments, or connect with me in the next video. I'd love to hear about your wins. Or if you have any requests for topics you'd like me to cover in future videos, feel free to drop those in the comments too. Whether you fully believe it yet or not, everything you need to become that confident version of yourself is already within you. It's about showing up, taking action, and trusting in your own worth. And each time you take that step, you're proving to yourself that you're capable and deserving of the life you want. Keep going because you've got this. I can't wait to see how much you've grown. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you in the next video.